to today's reading. For the month of October, I wanted to do a Halloween themed reading or do Halloween themed readings. So today's reading, as you can probably guess by the title, is what is keeping you in the dark, or what is keeping you from moving on, what is keeping you from seeing the bigger picture. As usual, we have piles number 1, 2, and 3. Timestamps will be listed down below as usual in the comments and in the description. For those of you who want crystals, for pile number 1, we have this piece of malachite. Pile number 2, is this piece of labradorite. I'm thinking of making a necklace out of the smaller piece that broke off of this. This is a side note. Pile number 3 is this red jasper. To be honest, I'm not that well versed in crystals, but I know red jasper is good for grounding because of the red color. Or for, I think associated with the root chakra. I believe green associated with the heart chakra. Okay, so as I said before, all the timestamps are down below. Feel free to choose 1, 2, or 3. So we'll start on pile number 1 in just a few moments. Alright, pile number 1. I'm going to use this piece of malachite. Starting off with the dedication card in reverse. For you guys, this feels like someone who was kind of wasting their energy. This might be someone who doesn't make the best decisions for themselves, or they're being counterproductive in some way. I feel like for some of you it might be self-sabotage, whether that is intentional, whether you are actually going out to self-sabotage yourself, or if you're doing it subconsciously, meaning that you're doing habits or bad habits that is self-sabotaging, but you're not consciously aware that it's self-sabotage. But either way, it is saying that you are doing something that is not conducive to your growth. The challenge card here, this is urging you to face your fears, to step out of your comfort zone. Don't fear the uncertainty, but instead push through. This is also clarified by the affirmation, I choose to embody joy. this means don't force yourself to feel good, but it is reminding you that there's something better out there. If you keep yourself in your comfort zone, or if you keep yourself from achieving your goals, whether that's through self-sabotage or through bad behaviors, this is saying that by seeing beyond that, by not by not trying to avoid difficult situations, then you can come out of it a lot stronger, or there'll be a better reward at the end if you try to push yourself through it. The Horse card in reverse is about letting go of expectations of how things should happen. So we have, there is power and patience. I have all the time I need. And I trust myself. I know my heart. In other words, don't put too much control on yourself or your life. I feel like some of you who resonate with this pile, it's like you're in this comfort zone because you're afraid of what could happen, or you could be afraid of failing, or you could be afraid of uncertainty of what could happen. But the truth is, you cannot predict every single thing. Even me as a tarot reader, even me as a tarot reader, I don't predict every single thing that's going to happen in my life, because sometimes universe just has a plan for you that you just can't avoid. I think we all learned that from 2020 of everything that's gone on. For a vision board, this tells me that you may have to have a reminder of your goals, like a physical reminder or visual representation of your goals, so that you're constantly reminded of where you're going and how to stay focused. Or this is saying that if you have a visual representation, or if you have a constant reminder of your goals, then that's going to help you be more focused than trying to keep it in the back of your head or trying to remember it, because sometimes when you don't have that constant reminder or that visual reminder, then it can be easy to get distracted or even be discouraged. So I mainly use Pinterest for my vision boards, but you may prefer using a poster or something. So that was for pile number 1. If that resonated with you, please leave a comment down below. I also have my Instagram below for more readings. I plan on doing another one tomorrow for a different topic. This is going to be related to Halloween-ish. I also have my Etsy down below for personal readings as well. And I think that is it for pile number 1. Going to move on to pile number 2. Alright, pile number 2. For those of you guys who chose the Labradorite. For pile number 2, I feel like this is a little bit similar to pile number 1, at least in terms of wasted energy, or not really using your energy in a productive way or wisely. Whereas pile number 1 was more about self-sabotage and not doing the right things for yourself. Pile number 2, I feel like pile number 2 was more about rushing things or not being fully prepared. So starting off with the clearance card in reverse. The clearance card and the affirmation: I release the need to motivate myself and allow inspiration to flow naturally to me and through me. So yeah, this is about kind of being rushed or not allowing yourself to see things clearly before you jump into a situation. It's almost like you're not allowing things to kind of build up or set up before you rush into it. So with the reunion card, this kind of focuses on what they say about insanity, about doing the same things over and over again, expecting the same results. This is kind of saying that. It's saying, instead of doing what you're doing now, maybe try to give things a little bit more space. Maybe try to pause for a little bit. I feel like some of you may be trying to control your life too much to the point that you feel like you have to get things done right away, or you can't wait for something to come to you. This is also saying that trying to control your life to that extent actually won't help you when something unexpected happens. And I think that some of us learned that from 2020, of everything that's gone on so far. You know, with the whole pandemic, if you learn the West Coast wildfires, I think the East Coast had hurricanes. But the point is, there are things that you can be prepared for. It is good to prepare for some things, but if you are trying to do it to the point that it's actually very counterproductive, or it's wasting your time or wasting your energy, it's kind of like supply and demand, where if someone doesn't, or if a bunch of people don't actually need something, then why would you put your energy to make that happen just in case someone needs it? If that makes any sense. It's like you're putting all this energy into something, into a just in case, when you can be putting your energy into, that's not the right way to explain it. It's more like you're putting your energy into something that may or may not happen, when it's better to put your energy into something that you can guarantee. The Hearth Fire. This is about having a community, friends or family to support you. Connect with your ancestors. This is also saying to look beyond yourself for answers, but this can also be literal, and it could be asking you to ask for help from your guides, your angels, ancestors, deities, or whatever you connect to. But overall, this is saying that the answers may be outside of you. So I feel like a lot of you who chose this pile, or some of you who chose this pile, you feel like you have to do things yourself, or you feel like no one else has the answer. Don't just rely on yourself for the answers. This isn't saying that you're not capable of doing things yourself, but it's also saying that other people and other things may have the answers for you that you might be missing out on. And it can help you, focus your energy onto what is more important. So, that was pile number 2. My Etsy down below for personal ratings. I plan on doing a reading for tomorrow for Instagram if you want to follow that. It's going to be a different subject than today's reading. But I'm going to move on to pile number 3. Last but not least, pile number 3 with the red jasper. I'm pausing because I almost blanked on the name there for a second. The struggle card in reverse feels like someone who is trying to avoid certain obstacles, or they're trying to keep themselves safe. It could also mean that some of you are keeping yourself in your comfort zone, or that you aren't using your creativity. I don't mean artistic creativity, but thinking in different ways. I feel like some of you may resonate with the second pile because maybe the first one, because the first one's a little bit similar, but I feel like, especially for piles number 2 and this one, you're trying to, it's like you're trying to exert it's like you're trying to exert a lot of control, or you're trying to exert too much control over your life or over what happens. It's like you're too overly cautious for some of you, and it feels like you're trying to be a step ahead all the time. This is saying instead shift your perspective on things. If something unexpected happens, ask how to deal with it instead of spending time and energy to avoid it. Because as I said, for piles number 1 and 2, I think 2020 showed some of us that some things you just can't prepare for, and it's better to just adapt to it than trying to keep yourself safe and sheltered to avoid every possible situation that could be negative. I'm using negative in air quotes because I'll get to that in a second. So we have the fulfillment card. This is saying to stop and let go. Let go of how you think things should happen. It will be a lot less stressful than trying to predict every step of the way or trying to get ahead of it. It would also help you redirect your focus. Some of you may let go of people that aren't supportive of you or toxic, so this could be a literal letting go of people or letting go of things. These will be people that bring you down or drain you. I am my own healer. It kind of extends on this. This is saying that if you are with people that make you feel like you have to depend on them, or that you can't do things on your own, this is reversing the opposite, whereas you do have the power within yourself. You don't have to rely on other people. You can ask for people for help and support, but this is saying that you don't have to, I guess, depend on others to feel safe, because you do have that power within yourself. And even if you are not in that situation where you're depending on others, this is still the same message of being able to depend on yourself and being able to do things and having the confidence and the power to do that. The frustration card is about refocusing your energy, like I mentioned earlier, and trusting the process. So things can happen for you or around you, but not to you. This means that some negative things can happen, and those things can actually be a blessing in disguise, much like a tower moment or a lesson that needs to be learned. But it can also just be things that happened around you, and it really had nothing to do with you. This is saying that not every negative thing needs to happen because you need to learn a lesson or that you deserved it in some way. But it's also saying that not everything is personal. It means that whatever happens isn't because the universe is out to get you or the universe has some personal vendetta against you. In the words of David So, one of my favorite YouTubers, you are a special human being, but you are not that special. Which means that you are unique in your own way, you are special, you are, great in your own way, but you're not so special to the point that the universe has something against you, or you're so above or below everyone else, which is your ego talking, by the way, that you are singled out just because you're you. So in other words, don't take everything so personally. And even if you feel like it is, or even if it might be, maybe someone does something to you, even then, that's more of their problem or that's something that comes from them and not you. For example, if someone treats you horribly, or if someone, is rude to you, that could be a sign of something that they need to deal with, and not so much something that you need to deal with yourself, because they could just be jealous or envious of you. I'm getting off topic, but I hope that analogy makes sense, or that example makes sense. And we have it's safe for me to feel it all. This is saying that it might be better to learn how to deal with the situation when it happens than trying to avoid every possible negative situation to a point that is almost tiring. It is basically what I said before. So it's like learning to embrace the situation, maybe shifting your focus. Speaking of shifting your focus, I can link a few videos down below on quantum shifts. I am taking this workshop by Trees Pruitt. She has a lot of great videos on it. So I'll link her stuff somewhere here or in the description down below. But basically, it's about shifting your perspective and seeing things in a new light. So this isn't necessarily saying to see a negative situation in a good way, or it doesn't have to be that black and white, or something horrible happens to you to be like, oh, this is the best thing that happened to me. But it is saying to kind of shift your focus and see what else could have come of it. It's like looking for the silver lining, in a sense. But she explains it a lot better than I do, so I'm just gonna link some of her videos down below. And for the last card, we have Connect with the Moon. This is saying that you don't have to do a complete 180 and go head on into whatever you're avoiding, but it is asking you to be a little bit more open instead of putting on blinders and ignoring everything. Connect with the Moon, it can do with manifestations and also intuition. I feel like it is also about connecting to your inner self, or maybe your higher self. I feel like this might be about connecting to your ego, or at least being aware of why you avoid these things. So instead of just putting on the blinders and just kind of trying to avoid it, this is like saying, ask yourself why you avoid this, what you're so afraid of, and it could actually help you gain a little bit more perspective and shift your perspective, and maybe not see this as something that is so scary. So that's part number 3. I have my readings down below for my Etsy's and Instagram. I am doing another pick a card reading for Instagram. I think I'm doing a pick a card reading or a general reading, but either way, I'm doing a new reading tomorrow on Instagram if you want to follow that. And my Etsy is down for personal readings, and that's going to be the end of the reading for pile number 3 and the readings in general. So I'll see you hopefully next week.